welcome to Famous Lives, Unpopular Truths podcast, this is supposed to be episode 2.
Episode 2, baby.
But I feel like we need like some, those DJs that have like the
scratchy,
those like those horns. Nah, they're like, like
yeah, word. Yeah, just to hype the startup, word.
Just to hype it up, man.
word, yeah, man. Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
what? So today we're trying to film it, huh?
We're talking before about whether it's this might be a little bit of a hot topic, but
hey, today we're going controversial. We're going ignorant with it today, man. It's whatever, man. It's whatever.
Whether it's acceptable, do you think it's acceptable if you pull up to a chick's house and she pulls out condoms? Like, not so the question is not whether you should be having safe sex, but the question is, does it make you feel some type of way when a chick has got, like, if she pulls out like a pack of condoms and half are used, half are finished, half are out of the box, like, does it make you feel some type of way? Like, are we too conservative?
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, and you know what? Like, let me cop hate or whatever, man. It's fine, but bro, like, I feel cool if I rock up to a chick's house, right? Like to a girl's house, and whatever, and then we get to that stage, one things lead to another, and then when we get to that stage, she's like, "Oh man, where's the condoms at?" You know what I mean?
Not hard pulling them out.
Nah, I mean, look, man, that shows that she's organized and she's very safe, which are good traits, you know what I mean? But they're not really the traits that I'm looking for right now, you know what I mean? Those traits would also those traits would also yell out that, yo, I'm out here. And these condoms are half used because I've been using them, you know what I mean? And I don't know.
At least she's staying safe, bro. She's staying safe.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna look at that glass half full perspective, then yeah, it's a good thing. I don't know, bro. What about you, man? How does it make you feel, man?
It makes me feel weird, bro, because I think brothers is too used. I think brothers is so used to being in relationships that you expect that whoever you're dealing with, when you're not in a relationship, that they're just dealing with you. You know what I mean? So when they pull out a pack of condoms, you get shook, bro. You feel like you've been shaken, bro. Like somebody just pulled like the floor from underneath you, bro. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. Like
it's like it takes you aback. It kind of shocks you. Yeah.
It does, bro. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, so, if it's a 20-pack, like, I'm low key trying to count how many they use. When she buy them, bro? Like, when did she buy these things? Bro?
When do they expire? Check out the expiry date on them motherfuckers.
You know what, bro? That girl better not see this episode, bro. She's gonna flame the fuck out of me.
Nah, but look, man. Some things, it's like they're hardwired in you, bro. You can't really get them out. You know what I mean? I think this is one of those things, bro. Yeah.
Like it's an African thing, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I ask you like this, man. Ace, do you like it when the girl is like the aggressive one? You know what I mean? Like when a girl is aggressively pursuing you, you know what I mean? Like, how does that make you feel,
Man, I get paranoid about that because I'll be like, she pursuing other guys like this, like she running after other niggas like this, like a true quarterback.
Yeah.
In high school, like that shit was cute. I don't know, bro. Like I just have like I think I'm not. Like these days they've got this hot girl summer saying where like women are taking control and they can be pimps and players too and stuff. But I feel like I carry a lot of like I'm a bit traditional with it, man. Like I really respect a woman that's not saying that women should be like, I'm not saying that like a woman should be a virgin or anything like that, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be something
you
that
still respect. What you're saying is you still kind of respect those traditional female values, right?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I mean, like if we're going to do that, fine. But like we're probably not gonna.
Yeah, like exactly. You're cool with her doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Did you hear about this Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion situation? But speaking of hot summer, bro.
Hey man, Tory disappoints me, bro. Like honestly, man. Like I don't know, man. But he just always seems to be getting caught up in controversy that is not needed. You know what I mean? Like it's totally like this, totally not needed. So from what I kind of read was that what Megan pulled a knife out on him or something, right?
Yeah.
And then he pulled the gun out on her, right? He's like, "Yo, stop playing." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know how they had gotten to that stage of pulling knives and guns on each other or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But man, if you're somebody like Tory, man, do you have to be the one pulling the gun on Megan even? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't you even have your seckies or guys with you who could say, "Hey, Megan, stop acting up." You know what I mean? Like, in the position Tory is to lose everything. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's still trying to prove to people that he's hard. You know what I mean? Like, man, wasn't he the one a few years ago who like fell over trying to hook some dude or something like that? You know what I mean?
I think. Look, I think it's a mix of Napoleon complex. And I think also like being a rapper, he wants to. I feel like sometimes these guys like they want to act out the things that they rap about. They feel like they're actual G's. You know what I mean? Like they try and blur the line between the streets and hip hop. But like getting back to the situation, I just don't understand how these guys were on Instagram live at what's her name? What's the Kardashian? The Kardashian, the little one. The one married to Travis Scott. The one dating Travis. Yeah, Kylie Jenner's pool party allegedly, and I don't understand how they in Hollywood Hills at Kylie Jenner's pool party, and then next minute, Tory Lanez shooting at Megan Thee Stallion's feet. Like, they just
like how does it escalate to that?
Yeah, like how? Yeah. What's Tory Lanez doing riding around with a gun anyway?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, no, but in the States, I mean, I guess isn't it kind of like when you've made it, you're kind of more of a target, so you kind of don't really want to be caught slipping without heat on you. So maybe that's why he keeps like the weapons on him, right?
But what does that say about that civilization, though? That like you need to carry around a gun to feel safe.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it shows that definitely, man. Them dudes need to reevaluate their gun control, man. That's 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're now, because me, I'm somebody who doesn't really fuck with guns, right? But I acknowledge the fact that in the States, when you go to certain places, you have to have your protection with you, which is a gun, and that's really bad. You know what I mean? That's really really bad, man. Yeah, because yeah.
So that concept of they have self-defense, and they have the guns for self-defense and whatnot. Yeah. That to me means that they accept that they're gonna have bullets flying, in the society. Like they accept that bullets are gonna be flying at any given time.
Yeah.
What about the children then, bro? Not to sound old-fashioned, but like, what about the children? Like, do you accept that then? Like, some little kids are gonna be seeing guns being shot in public?
Like, it's not cool. Yeah. It's not cool. Like, I mean, look, I feel like if if in the first place a lot of people who were not supposed to be having guns were not having guns, then that would totally get rid of the argument of self-protection. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, in terms of self-protection, I generally mean in terms of famous people. I feel like, let's say there's been many cases of rappers, right, going back to the hood or somewhere where they were from, right? Or even the perfect example, right? Nipsey got shot in his own hood, right? What's that other kid who was driving his car? XXX Tentacion, right? Yeah. Like you can see there's I feel like over there, right? Because there's a lot of haters, right? A lot of people who are jealous. So when these guys have kind of been successful, they become a target. So people will be like, oh, look, there's 2 Chainz riding through the ends. You know what I'm saying? So then he becomes a target. So I feel like people like them need more protection in terms of guns. And yes, I can understand if Tory Lane's guards and everything are going to be having guns on them. You know what I mean? But general members of the public, I don't see a justification for them to be carrying guns for protection. What protection? Nobody's targeting them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, regular civilians get robbed.
Yeah, like they do get robbed, but I mean, I feel like if you're a regular civilian, you're not going to just get robbed randomly, you know? If you're in a wrong area, if you're in a bad area at the wrong time, you know what I'm saying? And there's certain things that you just can do to keep yourself out of bad situations if you have an idea what a bad situation looks like, you know what I mean? So sometimes you might not get into that situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess so. I think. Do you think that it's too far gone to do anything about it?
Hey man, that one is deep, bro. But the problem is a lot of Americans now, they really, really like, it's really ingrained in them, especially the more conservative types. You know what I mean? And it would take something drastic. You know what I'm saying? It would take something drastic. Like something really serious. I'm not talking about a massacre where 30 kids get killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like even a civil war. You know what I mean? For people to be like, okay, maybe it's not such a good idea after all. You know what I mean?
So essentially, then it's not happening.
Nah, it's not happening, man. They're not toughening down on gun control anytime soon. There's too many stakeholders involved, bro. I'm pretty sure the gun makers and gun suppliers, man, they've got solid business. You know what I mean? I mean, guns that are, American guns are popping up in fucking illegal conflicts halfway across, the world. You know what I'm saying? Most of the guns in Mexico, the cartels, Mexican cartels, and in northern Mexico, they're American guns. You know what I'm saying? So, man.
The irony is like. The irony is Mexico is so dangerous because of the US. Like I watched. It's true though. It's true.
It is.
I watched this documentary.
Yeah.
I was watching one of these Vice documentaries, man. You know that white dude from Vice that goes to all these random
noisy, like the skinny dude.
The skinny white dude.
Man, that dude's funny as hell, bro. Yeah. So awkward, man, but he's just there. Yeah.
he was interviewing some guy in El Paso, Texas, which I guess is like a border town, like neighboring one of Mexican.
Check out El Paso.
Yeah, I think it's a neighboring bordering San Juarez. Is it San Juarez? Let me know. I don't want to give misinformation. I'm gonna look it up. But
Juarez is like the northernmost Mexican side, but yeah, you're right. Look, exactly. El Paso is the closest one to Juarez. Yeah, literally, they're neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was interviewing some guys in Texas, and talking about crime in the city, like in that city, and he was one of these guys, like one of these good old boys, as they'll say, one of these conservative type white guys.
Yeah.
He's like, crime is going up because all the illegal guns that are coming in from Mexico.
My God.
And I was like, how ignorant can you be, bro?
My God. My illegal guns from Mexico, weird, bro. Weird.
Guns are not legal in Mexico.
Oh, bruv. Oh my God, man. Where do people get that type of education though? Sometimes I don't understand, bro. Do they just listen to like one source and then they're like, yeah, that's it, or what?
I think that's what happens. And like these days, like if you've
God
noticed these
damn.
days, like it's hard to actually get news.
Yeah, word. What do you mean?
It's so hard to get actual news, man. Like I have to watch like I only like watch ABC these days because like at least they
Uh,
don't have a. I mean, they have a little bit of a left wing,
oh yeah, definitely. They side with the left hard. Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
what's the alternative, bro? Channel Seven,
Ah,
Channel 7 literally like they one time like when the whole
yeah.
African gangs hysteria thing was going on
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They literally interviewed like some neo-Nazis, and they presented them because it's like a group of neo-Nazis. They were doing like a patrol in the city behind to keep the streets safe from African gangs.
Wow,
And Channel
wow,
7 actually interviewed these guys
wow,
like they were like concerned citizens.
wow.
So between that and ABC, I think I'd rather stick with ABC, man. But like speaking of ABC, did you watch the Stan Grant Four Corners documentary?
Man, Four Corners is the shit, man. Yeah, I did, bro. I did. It was quite an emotional documentary, eh? Like,
Yeah,
um, yeah. Look, I mean, I feel like he as well, like from the perspective that he was saying it, he kind of did a job explaining to people why people who may not understand why, like Australian Black Lives is kind of piggybacking off American Black Lives Matter movement, right?
yeah, yeah,
Or like, I mean, although that said, you could say that it kind of makes the Australian Black Lives movement kind of lack a little bit of credibility. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because they're kind of coming off these other dudes. But he did
yeah,
some things where he was explaining how the history of the civil rights movements in the states, and the Martin Luther Kings and all of those reverends. You know what I mean? The famous reverends in the states, how they kind of resonate with him. As an Indigenous Australian. But look, I mean, I felt like, look, there was some things that you could pick apart in there, you know what I'm saying? And some things that I didn't fully agree with, you know what I mean?
What was the thing that you didn't agree with the most?
Hey, man, I mean, for me, I didn't like how, there wasn't really anything that was kind of offered in terms of at the end saying, okay, these are the problems that we're going through. You know what I'm saying? This is how I
Yeah,
see it, man. Like in Australia, stolen generations and like Australian civil rights for Indigenous Australians, they really kind of improved in like the 60s, right? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And then before that, it was still pretty bad, So in my head, I kind of had that mentality that like, okay, look, these are the problems, these are the issues, right? But you guys are still crying to the same person, like still crying to the white messiah, you know what I'm saying? To save
yeah,
you and to help you and to sort out these things, you know what I'm saying? And I
yeah.
kind of hate that. I really hate that mentality in minorities where they kind of look at another minority which traditionally has what's the word? Traditionally they have, put you under, they put you down.
Press them.
Yeah, oppress you, exactly. And then you're now
Yeah.
saying, you know what I mean? Like for me, that doesn't really, that doesn't really balance, bro. I don't know what you reckon,
So
man.
you're saying what you're saying that you felt like they were asking the white people to put them up?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a lot in there where it's kind of like saying, we've got all of these problems. You know what I'm saying? You need to help us solve these problems. It wasn't more like this is what we feel like could help us, and this is the
Yeah,
solution. You know what I mean? And this
yeah,
is what we want to do, and we would appreciate your support in doing this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. He
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
that's a good point because he actually closed it out with a statement saying like, oh, asking for uh camaraderie. Like he sort of closed it out asking for the wider community to assist in
Yeah,
getting past the problems from the past.
yeah.
Um, and I agree that like there should be. I know he's just a TV presenter, but he's one of the most prominent Aboriginal voices. So he should,
Yeah, yeah,
if he's gonna put a message out there, I feel like there should have been some, list of demands and things that need to
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Like maybe like for example, like if he talks about a treaty briefly, like that there isn't a treaty. Maybe he should have appeared and say, look, we need a treaty. I would have liked if he had gone hard, like maybe even say like, look, we need to change the flag.
Something drastic. Yeah.
Just go radical, go crazy.
Yeah. Hard.
I also think that a lot of what he's saying was very valid, but I think it was just a very emotional documentary, which I don't know if emotion helps the situation, right?
In what way?
Like it was emotion based. It was about emotion, how they feel.
Yeah.
And if let's say the white Australian community is if they don't have sympathy towards the indigenous people, then the indigenous people being not people, but but this documentary being emotional is not going to make people that didn't give a fuck before.
I was about to say, like, I feel like the people who already would feel emotional and would be affected by the emotion, they've already been affected. You know what I mean? They already feel it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like there's more people, or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe we're wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I don't feel like there's more people who will be swayed by that emotional perspective at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I completely agree. He mentioned something about, people have been criticizing the Black Lives Matter movement here in Australia for piggybacking off the American one. And I think my criticism on that front would be that, there was a lot of comparison to the African American struggle in the US,
it's quite different. Yeah.
It's quite different because you've been over there, and like even without being over there, you can see that African Americans they're more present in society.
They're much more they are ahead in terms of their fight for recognition. They're more ahead than the indigenous Australians.
Exactly. I mean, there's black governors, there's black mayors, there was a black president, there was they're in everyday life, whereas here it's far from that, and
I mean, like here, man, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she's Korean, and I was asking her, I'm like, so do you know about Aborigine people? Do you understand Aborigine? She's like, what? What Aborigine? I'm like, you don't know Aborigines? She's like, no.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know that they're the first Australians, right? They're like, as in the first inhabitants. And she's like, what? For real? And she's like, yeah.
No idea.
No idea, bro. Like, no idea. A lot of people, in particular, migrants who come here and who may not have a chance to get, education or whatever here. I think there's a lot of people who don't know, just because of what you were saying, is that they're not so prevalent in media, in, what I mean, TV, whatever, you know what I mean?
Or even just in everyday life, like, it'd be nice to go to the servo and, maybe the guy that's, manning the shop is indigenous. Maybe the nurse is indigenous. Maybe the.
But that's because they just ain't that many of them anymore. I mean, isn't it like 3% of the population now?
Okay, I think that argument falls apart because there's less Africans than indigenous people here. And how many Africans do you see around when you move around?
But that's because that's a simple one, Ace. It's because African people, most migrant communities, they flock to the big cities, the big centers.
Yeah.
A lot of indigenous Australians. If you go into country Australia, you will see. You will see. You definitely will.
Okay, even in country, even in the country towns.
Yeah.
What are they doing in the country towns?
I mean, look, that's kind of up to them. You know what I mean? Some of them, like I stayed in like country New South Wales for like 2 years, man, and you wouldn't encounter them, and some of them you would see them in normal situations, just working normal job in the store or whatever, in the supermarket, you know what I mean? But and then some of them would be like, I don't know, just chilling or drinking, whatever, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah. I guess what my point is, a more accurate comparison would be, relating the indigenous, the native and the American Indians, as they call it. Like, that would be a more accurate, because you don't see them when you're over there. They're not prominent. They've got a lot of the same problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'll be a good start, because like we definitely need in this country more indigenous faces everywhere.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
I would love to see that. And getting that done, I think it starts with acknowledging that that isn't the case. And by comparing it to the African American struggle, you
yeah,
sort of skip that whole gap. It's like you're trying to
yeah,
jump from 1 to
yeah,
20.
yeah. Because you are already there's such a gap in between it. So yeah. Yeah, no,
You
that's
know,
right, man. Yeah, that's right. It should be more
what
comparing. Yeah. No, sorry, go.
this one is a bit of a hot potato. That what I'm about to say. I was actually curious to see what do you think about like when say like a prominent indigenous person like that.
Yeah.
What do you think about it when they're married to a white person?
uh yeah, look, I mean, I kind of feel like if you're really trying to you know, keep your heritage, right? And keep it going
Mm,
forward, right? And preserve
mm,
it, right? It
mm.
would make more sense. It would make more sense to be with another indigenous person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely would. Not
I mean,
even, yeah, go.
no, I just got curious watching that. I wanted to see what his wife looked like, and I had a feeling that his wife was a Caucasian woman.
And what is she? Is she Caucasian?
She is,
Oh, really?
yeah, and I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that he like we're dictating what he should go for, his preferences or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I think it sends a good message to the youth out there if you're a successful indigenous person and you're
yeah.
also married to a successful
Yep,
indigenous person as well.
yep.
I'm now like have you heard of Kathy Freeman?
Yeah, I do, and I'm not gonna lie, because I really used to like Kathy. I remember, like watching her, like when she was at the Olympics in 2000 and she wore that suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was just so cool because it was so different. You know what I mean? And people were
yeah.
like, yeah. So I thought she was cool, but then yeah, I was kind of disappointed when I saw her husband as well. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
just go with this.
Yeah.
It's a white man.
Yep.
I don't know. It just we're gonna cop a lot of flack for even bringing this up, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just
No.
saying. We need
Yeah.
an all indigenous power couple out there.
Yeah, you are right on that one, man. You are pretty right on that, man. That because that type of stuff, like positive imaging does a lot for the youngins, for the young kids coming up. You know what I mean? If they're
It does.
seeing their people in a positive light, in a positive situation with, and if they see
Mm,
that, even,
mm,
big power couple, indigenous, then they're gonna be like,
mm,
yeah, I'm gonna want me, my own, you know what I mean, indigenous partner who's like,
mm,
a go
mm,
getter, and
mm.
we out here go getting together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
man.
let's leave that topic before we get
Before we
we
get
might
deported.
get banned on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get. Yeah,
What
bro.
do you
But it's
what
quite
do you think
interesting.
about what do you think about this situation currently going on with like the lockdowns and coronavirus and whatnot?
Yeah, bro. Where do I begin, man? Look, the way I see it, man, is that we're essentially being held hostage, bro. We're being held hostage by a
By the virus.
virus. Yeah, we are, man. Because as soon as we get a bit of a spike, as soon as we get a few cases, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, shut everything down. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, uh, lock people down.
Yeah.
And this is in a situation where already the economy wasn't doing well. We were already, in a recession. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's just like keep giving the economy these false start, stop, start for something that we
Over and
don't.
over.
Yeah, you know
Mm,
what I mean. For a virus that is so new, like this is a virus
mm,
that we barely have even like I bet we haven't really tipped the surface. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty
yeah.
sure there's still a lot to learn about the virus. You know what I'm saying?
There is. There is.
And we're just saying every time it kind of spikes, you know what I'm saying, shut everything out. I don't think that's the best approach, man. I feel like somebody just needs to kind of have some just make a big call. You know what I mean? Make a big call and say, look, this is how it is. This is how it's going down at this point. But
look,
we
man,
have
grandma's gonna have to die. Look, man, you've lived your life, man. Let us live ours.
That's it, man. See that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Like that's it. You know what I mean? Because dude, I mean, we've had time to, gather resources, you know what I'm saying? We have had times to prepare the medical hospitals, to set up different treatment facilities and all that type of stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, look, I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's easy for us to say coming in a situation where, your grandma might not be around. Because I spoke to this lady at work one time and I asked her, and she was like, hell no, we need to shut everything down. Then I was like, why? Because I stay with my mother. My mother's old and she's got diabetes. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose my mother. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I was like, damn, that really made me think.
You're like, damn, but I want to go to the club.
Yeah, bro. I was like, damn, but I'm single, I'm single. I want to turn up. And these apps, these apps for black people, they're really, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to go there.
Nah, I think we were touching up hot potatoes today, bro.
But so that's just my 2 cents, man. I don't know. What do you think, man? You think we should be out here?
Yeah, I think these state premiers, man, they're getting a bit power crazy, brother. The way they speak, man, like, I saw this one comment, on Facebook. Some guy commented, he was like, look, these premiers are coming out every other day, like, oh, look, if you guys don't do the right thing, I'll close everything down again, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, someone commented and they're like, these politicians forget that, they work for us. They're not our boss. But they, like, I think they've gotten a bit power crazy. And also, they have, I'm not on some conspiracy shit, but like, we don't know what the legality is of them deciding to shut this down or shut that down, or every day you hear like, oh, police are going to be given extra power to do this. Like, I just saw it on the news today that, like, masks are going to be mandatory, and if you don't wear a mask, you cop a $200 fine.
Yeah. I mean, they're handing out ridiculous fines for this stuff. I mean, you're hearing stuff where it's like, look, we'd even have a penalty of jail time for people trying to skip through states. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, I think, because it's going to be around with us for a while, because there's no vaccine, it doesn't make sense to lock things down every time there's 20 new cases and all this. I think the Americans looked crazy as hell, just going about their business as usual. But now when you look at it, it kind of, they don't look as crazy as I thought,
Yeah. I mean,
I think they have accepted the reality of the situation. Like, it's going to be here with us, whether we shut it down.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with you. We should just get back to normal life.
Do you know what? Like, Yankho, bro. Like, at the start, right? At the start, in March, in February, in January, I would have said then a shutdown it's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Because even then they weren't really understanding the mortality rate of this virus. Let's be honest, man. COVID's mortality rate is not like an Ebola. You know what I'm saying? It's not crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially but then they were kind of still getting to understand a lot of these things. Now they've kind of gotten that kind of out of the way. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly who is vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And and then now it's like a matter of, let's move on. Like, let's move forward, particularly from an economic perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people out of jobs, man. A lot of people is, very, very uncertain about that. And that kind of stress is not really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of people that have to go to work, like we're a bit lucky that we can work from home.
Yep.
I think if there's one positive about this is that, we get to work from home and you don't have to deal with the Karens at the office,
Yeah.
Less stress, man.
Yeah. Nah, less drama, bro. It's been a fairly stress-free. I mean, what have you been getting up to, man? In the spare time that you have had, since you don't have to go to the office.
The funny thing is, I find that I'm working a lot harder than I used to when I used to go to the office, because the computer is always there. Like, I do, like, on average, like 9 hours a day.
Fuck.
9.5, 10 sometimes.
Fuck. Yeah.
But outside of that, like, no, I've been, building up my vinyl collection. I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn how to scratch, but
Yeah.
I've got the turntables, but there's
Yeah.
just so much more that you need. Like I need speakers, I need a preamp,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
all this crap. But like I'm gonna try and learn that. What about you?
Man, I mean, um, I've just been like getting into just like just getting into other stuff where you feel like your brain has the capacity even to kind of, because usually, man, when you're doing the work thing and then you wake up, you know what I mean, you have to wake up early, get ready for work, catch the train. Then by the time you get home after working, catching the train and all that, you're like super 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 exhausted, you know what I mean? So like your brain and everything is just not in the state to do anything. Now I've been finding that, man, I've kind of gotten back into reading, which the last time I used to read books, man, was when I was in university, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shit like that, man. I mean, I've just been working on some other, like working on ideas to kind of try and break out of that 9 to 5 lifestyle. You know what I mean? To try to kind of get out of it a bit earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I found that to be pretty good, man, and obviously saving more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now,
And,
like, do
yeah.
you wanna plug what books you've been reading?
Yeah, man. I mean, we can begin with I ordered 2 books the other week, man. And so I ordered one that's by Thomas Sowell or Sal. I don't know how you say his name.
Yeah.
It's just basic economics. You know what I mean? It's a pretty dense book, but it kind of explains just the whole economic system. You know what I'm saying? And how it all works. Because I feel like it's one of those things that you kind of, it's cool to understand. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to have a grasp, like things like economics, taxes, you know what I'm saying? I think those are things that are good to have an understanding of, you know what I'm saying? Because they do kind of help you, and they'll help you kind of get ahead, you know what I mean? And that's one. And then the other one that I'm waiting on is Malcolm X. It's a Malcolm X book by Alex Haley. You know the guy who wrote Roots?
Yeah.
Huh?
I've actually read that one, the Malcolm X one, the autobiography. It's pretty interesting because like he came from being like a pimp.
Right.
He was a pimp, and then he turned out to be something completely different. I think he's one of the most eloquent
speakers
people that I've actually like come across.
Wow.
He speaks and you just want to listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm reading currently Blood in My Eye. It's by George L. Jackson. So this book, it's basically around the same time. It's about it's like if you took Malcolm X and you made him read a lot of Karl Marx type of theories, that's what you'd get.
What's the name again?
Blood in My Eye by George L. Jackson. He wrote it in jail. So this guy was in jail. He got killed. He died. He was killed 3 days before the book came out.
Wow.
In prison, but like he was just like his thoughts on how the Afro-American community should rebel and take power from the 1% and get their stake in America and that sort of thing. It's more so like essays rather than like a storyline type of book. But
so it's just a collection of writings by him, a collection of pieces.
Kinda, yeah.
Sounds kind of interesting, man.
Now it's pretty. There's some quotes. Sometimes you read something. There's some quotes. He had like a whole page talking about our consciousness. What is consciousness?
Yeah. Wow.
And I read that part like 5 times because it's just like it stuck with me.
Yeah. Wow. Because what I found, like, generally, I don't really like reading autobiographies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like, what are you getting from reading about somebody else's lives and what they did? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like you get a lot from that. You could learn a lot from that.
True. Like, how so?
You could see where somebody went wrong and then sort of not make that mistake from reading about their life.
Okay, but couldn't you kind of see what or where people went wrong by looking at other people in your life? Maybe even looking at your parents, for example, looking at your older siblings, cousins, whatever, you know what I mean? couldn't you be watching their shit play out?
I feel like reading a book expands your range of people experiences to study from, because your parents are going to be similar to you. True. Your friends are going to be, you know, similar to you, and then.
But isn't that good though when the person is kind of coming from a background that's more similar to you and more? Doesn't that apply
good,
more?
But no? It's good, but I feel like it's important to have a varied experience.
Right.
I think it's important to pull from many sources. I think. Right. The funny thing is, like, how I ended up wanting to read this book is that Ja Rule actually had an album in 2003 called "Blood in My Eye."
Yeah.
So I never listened to the album, but I always thought the title of the album was interesting. You know, and the cover was interesting. You know, it wasn't until recently that I Googled it, I found out that it was actually taken from. So if you Google on your computer right now, "Blood in My Eye," Ja Rule, and then you Google "Blood in My Eye" book, you'll see that he copied the book.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I always thought that title was interesting because it implies that, you know, someone not being able to see clearly because they've got so much rage. And that's what you get from reading the book, that this guy could only see things in racial terms.
Right.
You know, which you can't really blame him. You know, at the time, things were pretty hectic. Then,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, do we want to leave it here?
Yeah, now go.
I'm saying, do you want to leave it here? I'm crashing a little bit from my cheap wine from 2 nights ago.
No, that's all good, man. I was actually starting to Google your "Blood in My Eyes" book, man. You got that on your Kindle, eh?
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Check out the album. Check out the album cover. You see what I'm talking about.
By Ja, when he's kind of walking and he's got the background. Yeah. Similar to kind of. Yeah.
Except I'm sure the Ja Rule album was about anything. Wasn't about anything of substance.
Ja Rule is funny, man. Yeah. Until 50 ended his career. Yeah.
He never came back from that one, did he?
Bro, 50 ended him, man. 50 ended him.
Have you seen that Fire documentary on Netflix?
The Fire. I've heard about it. I never watched it, man. But I just remember he was getting clowned. Yeah. Why?
You need to watch that. You need to watch that. We're going to talk about that next week. You need to watch that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny.
All right. No, that's cool, man. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but man. Let's leave it here for today.
All right.
You know, everybody out there listening, you know, thanks for checking in. Leave your comments I'm sure hate mail for our brief discussion about, you know, people's dating preferences.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot where we can go more into it. You know what I mean? We're just skimming. Yeah.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, cheers.